Hi, good morning. Maria Cristina Buncalis here, proceeding to the next helping process of the social work practice, the helping contract and intervention. Once the client and social worker have completed an assessment and planning, they move on to formal or informal contract and entering to an intervention for plan implementation. The helping contract. The helping contract is an agreement between the worker and the client on what needs to be done and who should do it, a simplified version of plan of action. During this process, the worker defines the issues and goals to be achieved on working with the client. A contract can be formal or informal, written or oral agreement. Oral agreement is a common practice for most social workers in a crisis situation, like an example here given, a client being distrustful of all written in the contract that requires signature. Although, the more specific the contract, the more likely it is to prevent misunderstandings. A written contract, which is becoming more popular in today's social work in the country, provides an explicitness that helps clarify points of agreement and disagreement between the worker and the client. It serves as a basis for demonstrating accountability to both the client and the agency, and it can be an effective tool in facilitating the transfer of cases to another worker. Intervention. Intervention is concerned with the action that would solve the client's problem. In the earlier discussion, it is all about the client's participation and involvement. Now, the focus will be on the worker's activity, which is the plan implementation in the light of the assessment and planning. It is during intervention the social worker professional knowledge, values, and skills put to test. Two phases of helping process from Coptoon and Galloway. Deciding what to do and doing the decided. Deciding what to do involves assessment and planning, while the doing the decided is the intervention. This helping processes, or the assessment, planning, contracting, and interventive tools are called ecological map or EcoMap, a simple paper and pencil stimulation. And here is an example. Interventive rules in direct practice. Interventive rules refers to the composite of activities or tasks that she is expected to undertake in order to accomplish the goals agreed upon with the client. There are two considerations of interventive rules. They are relevant to local client problems or situations, and they transcend specific modes of practice, which means they can be used with any client system. Resource provider. It is a material aid and other concrete resources given directly to the client. And this provision of material aids or other concrete resources is not something like dole-outs. It is preceded by a careful evaluation of client need and the most appropriate ways by which it can be met. All these resources needed are being administered by her agency, and all she has to do is to assess the client to avail of them. Social broker is the process of negotiating the service jungle for clients. The worker links or connects the clients to needed services in the community or networking. This rule requires a broad knowledge of community resources as well as knowledge of the operating procedures of agencies so that effective connections can be made. Social broker is a provision of the needed resources out of our agency or from the country community. Mediator, a person who acts as an intermediary or conciliator between two persons or sides, assists and guides the parties towards their own resolution. The mediator does not decide the outcome, but helps the parties understand and focus on the important issues needed to reach a resolution. The mediator remains neutral and does not side with either party in the dispute but rather helps opposing parties come to a mutually beneficial resolution. Advocate works towards appealing for the rights of individuals and in some cases disenfranchised groups. They advocate voices the concerns of the group and assist in obtaining resources, political power, and social change. The advocate role involves stepping forward and speaking on behalf of the client system. Enabler help clients find the coping strengths and resources within themselves to solve problems they are experiencing. The worker's responsibility is to perform a supporting and empowering function so as to enable the client's accomplishment of a defined change. Counselor or therapist. Counselor or therapist role is the restoration, maintenance, or enhancement of the client's capacity to adapt or adjust to his current reality. The worker is called upon to engage in a case-to-case approach to problem solving to benefit the client. Interventive rules beyond direct practice is an interventive activities that does not require direct or face-to-face relationship with the clients. There are interventions the worker employs on behalf of or in the interest of not only one but many client sectors. Mobilizer of community elite is a process that assures that people are available to help plan, take action, and adopt the community change and improvement effort. When groups engage in this process, they are mobilizing community support and engaging in ongoing relationship building for change. Documentor or social critic. They document the need for sufficient policies and programs based on his/her knowledge and experiences about the inadequacies of the existing policies and programs. Policy or program change advocate. The worker is involved in efforts to change policies and programs on behalf of particular sectors of the population based on the values of the profession. The basic meaning of advocacy is to represent, promote, or defend some person, interest, or opinion. But the focus of this manual is on the approaches adopted by organizations and coalitions in trying to change or preserve specific government programs, that is, approaches focused on influencing decisions of public policy. Limitations on worker activity is the time limit and other distractions like emergencies, etc. Limited skills, ethics, for instance, unethical behaviors, and agency functions like the discussion of social broker, the limitation of function of an agency.